have a lot of happy memories as well as sad memories. There's a lot of happy memories, but when I was like so much younger, which is like being with family, friends, going to school, and it was like really peaceful in there. We never knew that a war would start. My dad has 6 brothers and 3 sisters. My mom has 7 sisters and 1 brother, and they all have children. I had so much cousins. We were always together. In summer, the whole family used to go on a holiday. We called it like a farm. It was a big house in the country with a big pool. I had so many memories of this. My dad was a professor of electrical engineering. He used to teach in the university. My mom is an English teacher. They had good jobs. Our house in Syria was so much better than here. My room that I used to sleep in was as big as this classroom. We loved Syria. We would have never thought about leaving if it wasn't for the war. I remember being aware of the war. I was in year 4. It just started suddenly. We were sleeping and we just heard bombing. From that day, we just heard bombing every day. I lived through the war for 4 years. One day, I remember there were so many tankers outside of my building. Every time they bombed, the building shook. It just felt that the building would collapse. We moved to stay with my cousins, but it didn't feel safe there either. We eventually went back because we were so worried that everything would be stolen from our house. I remember when I was 6, I would go to school once every 3 days. One day I was coming back from school and a bomb went off right next to me. Children were screaming and crying. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to help them or help myself. I wasn't scared at the moment. I was just shocked. Once, my mom said, "Don't go to school." And then we heard a missile and it had hit my school. My friends were all inside. I wanted to see if my friends are okay. There was bleeding everywhere. When I saw that, my heart was hurting. I asked why this happened to such innocent people. We used to live in a building, and I used to live in the first apartment, which was like the lowest one. And when they start hitting bombs, the bombing goes to the top apartments and they hit them because it goes like from high up to the top house. And then when they start bombing, all the neighbors used to come to our apartment because it was the safest. I remember once, it was like 1 month before coming to England. I remember when all the neighbors were in our house and the electricity was cut off, and we only had each other to be strong. We were all sitting there thinking about how we can die in 1 second, and we were all so scared and just hearing the bombs, and we could do nothing about it, and it was really scary for us. And that's when we realized that we're not feeling safe at all and we have to leave. We sold things to come to England, our car, our house, our things. I remember when we were leaving, I was looking at the things and thinking, am I going to see this again or not? I didn't think I would be staying in England for long. I thought I would go back and see all my things again one day. We went to Lebanon. They treated us like animals. Syrians are not treated well in Lebanon at all. People are just stuck in camps with no rights. I remember the security in the airport. They told us to go and check the bags and say goodbye. They made us pay $1,000 because we had too much luggages. When we paid, we asked to go back to say bye to my dad. They wouldn't let us go. I could see my dad in the distance crying. This was the first time I ever saw my dad cry. They wouldn't let us say goodbye. So, first we arrived to Manchester. It felt really, really strange. Like, I was just looking around. The buildings look different, the weather looks different, language is different, everything was different. I was just so surprised. I was looking around like, where are we? I arrived in the UK when I was 12. When we got to the UK, my mom tried so hard to get the paperwork for my dad. My dad had to do a test and pay a lot of money to come. It's not been easy. It took us 3 years to see my dad. At first, we rented a place from a guy. The ceiling was so damp and moldy. My mom has asthma, and it was very difficult for her to breathe. We needed to leave early because of my mom's health. He came to our house and threatened us. He blamed us for the damp and fined us a lot of money. We didn't know how things work here. We were scared and just paid the money. First day of school, it was really frightening. I went to my first class. It was English. I was just sitting there not understanding a word, but all the teachers were helping me. There was like a teacher that comes with me from EAL to explain to me anything that I don't understand, and like she used to draw and just to use anything just to make me understand what it's about. They do really well with teaching children English because they make them all get like included. They give them like a buddy to help them around the school. There's always teachers that can help them at any time with their home learning. There's also some other students that speak their language and speak English to help them like translate some words, read and write. So there's many ways that the EAL department help. In Syria, it's cultural that we don't go to school with the boys and girls. But in England, it's normal to have mixed schools. They do help a lot with parents because we do coffee morning, and many parents get like to know each other and be friends, and it just makes everyone feel like, oh, school is just like a home to everyone. What helped me to stay strong was my mum, because she was always with me, she was always helping me, and I saw how sad she was inside, but she was just trying to show that she's not, and she was happy for what she did, and she never gave up. I want staff and other people to know that you may see a lot of people smiling, but you never know what they've been through. You never know if that kid was a refugee and have been through a difficult time. As a staff, I think if you see any kid that is new to school, ask if they need help, because sometimes they feel really scared or really shy to put their hand up and speak because their English might not be perfect. So if you see like a kid that is not asking anything and being really shy, ask them if they need any help. I would like to be an architect and maybe go work in Dubai or something, and then when the war stops in Syria, I'm going to go and help rebuilding the houses that are destroyed.